I'm not going to be...
Go back. The Quran says that the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed. Stop right there. Now, the Quran didn't make a mistake. But we know that the Quran was not revealed in 1 month. It was revealed over a period of 23 years. So which Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan? Is there another book that is to come in the month of Ramadan? Or is it that supreme understanding of this book will be given in the month of Ramadan? All the scholars agree that something here needs to be better understood, because the Quran was not revealed in the month of Ramadan. It began in the month of Ramadan. And when that first revelation came to Muhammad, the scholars say it came in the month of December. You hear that? If you can't go the whole 30 days with us, take one. If you get by one, try two. During the daylight hours from sun up, don't put anything in your mouth. No water, no food. If you feel that you're going to be famished, get up before the sun rises. Get up at around 5:30. And if you feel like you need something, make you something then. It's permissible. But if I were you, I would need food then. I would take me a nice herbal tea, water, and juice. And when the sun or the day begins to break, stop. When it's dark again, and eat. That discipline all day long. Think about it. People going to the water cooler at work drinking, and you are just not drinking. People eating their lunch and you smell it and want it, you not eat. Even during the daylight hours, a man is not allowed to take pleasure with his wife or vice versa during the daylight hours. If you can resist, your will be stronger.
And so now, as we read this Quran, we are enlightened by its beauty, the majesty of these ayats. And you would not know that unless you are reading the Quran as we are instructed to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Ramadan. This is a very sacred month. Not just a month of fasting, but a month of challenging ourselves in a way that after this month, when we take the Eid prayer and feast of joy, after having struggled to complete our 30 days, it brings us to a new day, a new year of our Islam. And so I want to say to those who tried, we thank Allah for you, and you are the beneficiaries of your striving.
Hey! And we're back. And we're back. And we're back. Hold on now. So we are on day number 15, part number 15 of our Holy Quran. Oh man, shout out to everybody who done made it. Today, number 15. Man, I'm so excited, and here's why I am excited. So far, I haven't missed any days reading, and we haven't missed any days breaking the fast. Now, I ain't gonna even knock on no wood or nothing, because I don't believe in all that, but yeah, we just gonna keep moving strong. So shout out to those who haven't broke your fast, and shout out to those who have made every part, and shout out to those who haven't, and you've been striving to. It's okay if you've been striving to. This your first year, you had a little, you know, because I wouldn't, my first year, I was out of that, boy. That first year, boy, I was doing good by day 4, boy. That, got pretty hard. So don't be too hard on yourself, family. Don't be too hard on yourself. But we there. We on part number 15. You look at that book. Look at that. We right there. We halfway there, y'all. It's starting to look like a bird now. Ooh-wee. We halfway there. So for those who are wondering, we are on page 561. We're on page 561, part 15, chapter 17. And so we're going to be on, obviously, part 1, Surah 17, section 1, Israelites punished twice. So in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. All right, let me get this up on the screen for us so everybody can be able to read. All right, let me see here. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody should be good now. All right, here we go. The Israelites. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. The Israelites. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Glory to him who carried his servant by night from the sacred mosque to the remote mosque, whose precincts we blessed, that we might show him of our signs. Surely he is the hearing, the seeing. And we gave Moses the book and made it a guidance to the children of Israel, saying, take no guardian beside me. The offspring of those whom we bore with Noah, surely he was a grateful servant. And we made known to the children of Israel in the book, certainly you will make mischief in the land twice and behave insolently with mighty arrogance. So when of the two, the first warning came to pass, we raised against you our servants of mighty prowess, so they made havoc in your house, and it was an accomplished threat. Then we gave you back the turn against them, and aided you with wealth and children, and made you a numerous band. If you do good for your own souls, and if you do evil, it is for them. So when the second warning came, we raised another people, that they may bring you to grief, and that they might enter the mosque as they entered it the first time, and that they might destroy whatever they conquered with utter destruction. It may be that your Lord will have mercy on you, and if you return to mischief, we will return to punishment. And we have made hell a prison for the disbelievers. Surely the Quran guides to that which is most upright, and gives good news to the believers who do good, and there is a great reward. And that those who believe not in the hereafter, we have prepared for them a painful chastisement. Section 2, every deed has a consequence. And man prays for evil as he ought to pray for good, and man is ever hasty. And we made the night and the day 2 signs. Then we have made the sign of the night to pass away, and we have made the sign of the day manifest, so that you may seek grace from your Lord, and that you may know the numbering of years and the reckoning. And we have explained everything with distinctness. And we have made every man's actions to cling to his neck. And we shall bring forth to him on the day of resurrection a book, which he will find wide open. Read thy book. Thine own soul is sufficient as a reckoner against thee this day. Whoever goes aright for his own soul does he go aright. And whoever goes astray to his detriment only does he go astray. And no bearer of a burden can bear the burden of another bearer. Nor do we chastise until we raise a messenger. And when we wish to destroy a town, we send commandments to his people who lead easy lives, but they transgress therein. Thus the word proves true against it. So we destroy it with utter destruction. And how many generations did we destroy after Noah? And thy Lord suffices as being aware and seer of his servants' sins. And whoso desires this transitory life, we hasten to him therein what we please for whomsoever we desire. Then we assign to him the hell. He will enter it, despised, driven away. And whoso desires the hereafter and strives for it as he ought to strive, and he is a believer, those are they whose striving is amply rewarded. All do we aid, these as well as those, out of the bounty of thy Lord, and the bounty of thy Lord is not limited. See how we have made some of them to excel others. And certainly the hereafter is greater in degrees and greater in excellence. Associate not any other God with Allah, lest thou sit down despised, forsaken. Brother King Cam.
Section 3, Moral Precepts. And thy Lord has decreed that you serve none but him, and do good to parents. If either or both of them reach old age with thee, say not fie to them, nor chide them, and speak to them a generous word. And lower to them the wing of humility out of mercy, and say, my Lord, have mercy on them, as they brought me up when I was little. Your Lord knows best what is in your minds. If you are righteous, he is surely forgiving to those who turn to him. And give to the near of kin his due, and to the needy and the wayfarer and the squander not wastefully. Surely the squanderers are the devil's brethren, and the devil is ungrateful to his Lord, is ever ungrateful to his Lord. And if thou turn away from them to seek mercy from thy Lord, which thou hopest for, speak to them a gentle word, and make not thy hand to be shackled to thy neck, nor stretch it forth to the utmost limit of its stretching forth, lest thou sit down, blamed, stripped off. Surely thy Lord makes plentiful the means of subsistence for whom he pleases, and he straightens. Surely he is ever aware, seer of his servants. Section 4, Moral Precepts. And kill not your children for fear of poverty. We provide for them and for you. Surely the killing of them is a great wrong. And go not nigh to fornication. Surely it is an obscenity, and evil is the way. And kill not the soul which Allah has forbidden, except for a just cause. And whoever is slain unjustly, we have indeed given to his heir authority, but let him not exceed the limit in slaying. Surely he will be helped. And draw not nigh to the orphan's property, except in a goodly way, till he attains maturity. And fulfill the promise. Surely the promise will be inquired into. And give full measure when you measure out, and weigh with the true balance. This is fair and better in the end. And follow not that of which thou hast no knowledge. Surely the hearing and the sight and the heart of all of these it will be asked. And go not about in the land exultingly, for thou canst not rend the earth, nor reach the mountains in height. All this, the evil thereof, is hateful in the sight of thy Lord. This is of the wisdom which thy Lord has revealed to thee, and associate not any other God with Allah, lest thou be thrown into hell, blamed, cast away. Has then your Lord preferred to give your sons, and for himself taken daughters from among the angels? Surely you utter a grievous saying.
Up next, we have Brother Khalil.
Section 5, Disbelievers grow harder. And certainly we have repeated warnings in this Quran that they may be mindful. And it adds not save to their aversion. Say, if there were with him gods, as they say, then certainly they would have been able to seek a way to the Lord of the throne. Glory to him, and he is highly exalted above what they say. The seven heavens and the earth and those in them declare his glory, and there is not a single thing but glorifies him with his praise. But you do not understand their glorification. Surely he is forbearing, forgiving. And when thou recitest the Quran, we place between thee and those who believe not in the hereafter a hidden barrier, and we put coverings on their ears. We put coverings on their heart, and a deafness in their ears, lest they understand it. And when thou makest mention of thy Lord alone in the Quran, they turn their backs in aversion. We know best what they listen to when they listen to thee, and when they take counsel secretly, when the wrongdoers say, you follow only a man deprived of reason. See what they liken thee to? So they have gone astray and cannot find the way. And they say, when we are bones and decayed particles, shall we then be raised up as a new creation? Say, be stones or iron, or some other creature of those which are too hard to receive life in your minds. But they will say, who will return us? Say, he who created you at first. Still they will shake their heads at thee and say, when will it be? Say, maybe it has drawn nigh. On the day when he will call you forth, then will you obey him, giving him praise, and you will think that you tarried but a little while. Section 6, punishments must follow. And say to my servants that they speak what is best. Surely the devil sows dissension among them. The devil is surely an open enemy to man. Your Lord knows you best. He will have mercy on you if he please, or he will chastise you if he please. And we have not sent thee as being in charge of them. And thy Lord best knows those who are in the heavens and the earth. And certainly we made some of the prophets to excel others. And to David we gave the Zabur. Say, call on those whom you assert besides him. They have no power to remove distress from you, nor to change. Those whom they call upon themselves seek the means of access to their Lord, whoever of them is nearest, and they hope for his mercy and fear for his chastisement. Surely the chastisement of thy Lord is a thing to be cautious of. And there is not a town but we will destroy it before the day of resurrection, or chastise it with a severe chastisement. That is written in the book. And nothing hindered us from sending signs, but the ancients rejected them. And we gave to Thamud, the she-camel, a manifest sign, but they did her wrong. And we send not signs but to warn. And when we said to thee, surely thy Lord encompasses men, and we made not the vision which we showed thee, but a trial for men, as also the tree cursed in the Quran. And we warned them, but it only adds to their great inordinacy.
Sister Talia.
Section 7. The devil's opposition to the righteous. And when we said to the angels, be submissive to Adam, they submitted, except Iblis. He said, shall I submit to him whom thou hast created of dust? He said, seest thou, this is he whom thou hast honored above me? If thou respite me to the day of resurrection, I will certainly cause his progeny to perish, except a few. He said, begone. Whoever of them follows thee, surely. Hell is your recompense, a full recompense. And incite whom thou canst of them with thy voice, and collect against them thy horse and thy foot, and share with them in wealth and children, and promise them. And the devil promised them only to deceive. My servants, thou hast surely no authority over them, and thy Lord suffices as having charge of affairs. Your Lord is he who speeds the ships for you in the sea, that you may seek of his grace. Surely he is ever merciful to you. And when distress afflicts you in the sea, away go those whom you call on, except he. But when he brings you safe to the land, you turn away, and man is ever ungrateful. Do you then feel secure that he will not bring you low on a tract of land, or send you on a violent wind? Then you will not find a protector for yourselves. Or do you feel secure that he will not take you back into it another time, then send you on a fierce gale and thus overwhelm you for your ungratefulness? Then you will not find any aider against us in the matter. And surely we have honored the children of Adam, and we carry them in the land of the sea, and we provide them with good things. And we have made them to excel highly. Most of them we have made them to excel highly, most of those whom we have created. Section 8, opposition to the prophet. On the day when we shall call every people with their leader, then whoever is given his book in his right hand, these will not read their book, and they will not be dealt a whit unjustly. And whoever is blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and further away from the path. And surely they have purposed to turn thee away from that which we have revealed to thee, that thou should forge against us other than that, and they would have taken thee for a friend. And if we had not made thee firm, thou mightest have indeed inclined them to a little. Then we would have made thee taste a double punishment in life, and a double punishment after death. And thou wouldst not have found any helper against us. And surely they purpose to unsettle thee from the land, and that they might expel thee from it. And then they will not tarry after thee but a little. This is our way with our messengers, whom we sent before thee, and thou wilt not find a change in our course. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Praise be to Allah. Up next we have Sister Diabra.
Section 9.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Apologize. Section 9, truth will prevail. Keep up prayer from the declining of the sun till the darkness of the night, and the recital of the Quran at dawn. Surely the recital of the Quran at dawn is witnessed. And during a part of the night, keep awake by it beyond what is incumbent on thee. Maybe thy Lord will raise thee to a position of great glory. And say, my Lord, make me enter a truthful entering, and make me go forth a truthful going forth, and grant me from thy presence and authority to help me. And say, the truth has come and falsehood vanished. Surely falsehood is ever bound to vanish. And we revealed of the Quran that which is healing and a mercy to the believers, and it adds only to the perdition of the wrongdoers. And when we bestow favors on man, he turns away and behaves proudly. And when evil afflicts him, he is in despair. Say, everyone acts according to his manner, but your Lord best knows who is best guided on the path. Section 10, the Quran, a unique guidance. And they ask thee about the revelation. Say, the revelation is by the commandment of my Lord, and of knowledge you are given but a little. And if we please, we could certainly take away that which we have revealed to thee. Then thou wouldest find none to plead thy cause against us. But it is a mercy from thy Lord. Surely his bounty to thee is abundant. Say, if men and jinn should combine together to bring the like of this Quran, they could not bring the like of it, though some of them were aiders of others. And certainly we have made clear for men in this Quran every kind of description, but most men consent to not save denying. And they say, we will by no means believe in thee till thou cause a spring to gush forth from the earth for us, or thou have a garden of palms and grapes in the midst of which thou cause rivers to flow forth abundantly, or thou cause the heavens to come down upon us in pieces as thou thinkest, or bring Allah and the angels face to face with us. Or thou hast a house of gold, or thou ascend into heaven, and we will not behave in thy ascending till thou bring down to us a book we can read. Say, glory to my Lord. Am I aught but a mortal messenger?
Up next, we have Sister Fran.
Section 11, justice of retribution. And nothing prevents people from believing when the guidance comes to them, except that they say, has Allah raised up a mortal to be a messenger? Say, had there been in the earth angels walking about secure, we would have sent down to them from the heaven an angel as messenger. Say, Allah suffices for a witness between me and you. Surely he is ever aware of his servants' seeing. And he whom Allah guides, he is on the right way. And he whom he leaves in error, for them thou wilt find no guardians besides him. And we shall gather them together on the day of resurrection on their faces, blind and dumb and deaf. Their abode is hell. Whenever it abates, we make them burn the more. This is their retribution because they disbelieve in our messages and say, when we are bones and decayed particles, shall we then be raised up into a new creation? See they not that Allah, who created the heavens and the earth, is able to create the like of them, and he has appointed for them a term whereof there is no doubt. But the wrongdoers consent to naught but denying. Say, If you control the treasures of the mercy of the Lord, then you would withhold them for fear of spending. And man is never niggardly. Section 12, comparison with Moses. And certainly we gave Moses 9 clear signs. So ask the children of Israel. When he came to them, Pharaoh said to him, surely I deem thee, O Moses, to be one bewitched. He said, truly thou knowest that none but the Lord of the heavens and the earth has sent these as clear proofs. And surely I believe thee, O Pharaoh, to be lost. So he desired to scare them from the land, but we drowned him and those with him altogether. And we said to the children of Israel after him, abide in the land. But when the latter promise came, we brought you all rolled up. And with truth have we revealed it, and with truth did it come. And we have not sent thee, but as a giver of good news and as a warner. And it is a Quran we have made distinct, so that thou mayest read it to the people by slow degrees, and we have revealed it in portions. Say, believe in it or believe not. Surely those who are given the knowledge before it fall down prostrate on their faces when it is recited to them, and say, glory to our Lord. Surely the promise of our Lord was to be fulfilled. And they fall down on their faces weeping, and it adds to their humility. Say, call on Allah or call on the beneficent, by whatever you call on him. He has the best names. And utter not thy prayer loudly, nor be silent in it, and seek a way between these. And say, praise be to Allah, who has not taken to himself a son, and who has not a partner in the kingdom, and who is not a helper because of weakness, and proclaim his greatness, magnifying him.
Sister Tamika.
Chapter
18.
Chapter 18, Decay. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah, who revealed the book to his servant and allowed not therein any crookedness, rightly directed to give warning of severe punishment from him, and to give good news to the believers who do good, that theirs is a godly reward. Stand in it forever, and to warn those who say, Allah has taken to himself a son. They have no knowledge of it, nor had they fathers. Grievous is the word that comes out their mouths. They speak nothing but a lie. Then maybe thou wilt kill thyself with grief, sorrowing after them. If they believe not in this announcement, surely we have made whatever it is on the earth an abolishment for it, so that we may try which of them is best in works. And we shall surely make what is on his dust without harbage. Or thinkest through that the companions of the cave and the inscription were of our wonderful signs. When the youth sought refuge in the cave, they said, O Lord, grant us mercy from thyself and provide for us right course in our affairs. So we prevented them from hearing in the cave for a number of years. Then we raised them up that we might know which of the two parties was best able to calculate the time for which they remain. Session 2, the dwellers in the cave. We relate to thee, their story with truth. Surely they were youths who believe in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance. And we strengthened their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. We call upon no gods besides him, for when indeed we shall utter in enormity, these our people have taken gods besides him. Why do they not bring clear authority for them? Who is then more unjust than he who forges lie against Allah? And when you withdraw from them and what they worship, save Allah, take refuge in the cave. Your Lord will spread forth for you of his mercy and provide for you a profitable course in your affair. And thou mightest see the sun when it rose, decline from their cave to the right, and when it set, leave them behind the left, while they were in a wide space thereof. This is of the signs of Allah. Whom Allah guides, he is on the right way, and whom he leaves in error, thou wilt not find for him a friend to guide aright.
Thank you. Sister Whitney.
Oh, yes, sir. Section 3, the dwellers in the cave. And thou mightest think them awake while they were asleep, and we turned them about to the right and to the left, with their dog outstretching its paws at the entrance. If thou didst look at them, thou wouldst turn back from them in flight, and thou wouldst be filled with awe because of them. And thus did we rouse them, that they might question each other. A speaker from among them said, How long have you tarried? They said, We have tarried for a day or a part of a day. Others said, Your Lord knows best how long you have tarried. Now send one of you with this silver coin of yours to the city, then let him see what food is purest, and bring you provision from it, and let him behave with gentleness, and not make your case known to anyone. For if they prevail against you, they would stone you to death, or force you back to their religion, and then you would never succeed. And thus did we make men to get knowledge of them, that they might know that Allah's promise is true, and that the hour, there is no doubt about it. When they disputed among themselves about their affair and said, Erect an edifice over them. Their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed in their affairs said, We shall certainly build a place of worship over them. Some say there were 3, the 4th of them their dog, and others say 5, the 6th of them their dog, making conjectures about the unseen. And others say 7, and the 8th of them their dog. Say, My Lord best knows their number. None knows them but a few. So contend not in their matter, but with an outward contention, and question them not, any of them concerning them. Section 4, the Quran as a guidance. And say not of anything, I will do that tomorrow, unless Allah please. And remember thy Lord when thou forgettest, and say, Maybe my Lord will guide me to a nearer course to the right than this. And they remained in their cave 300 years, and they add 9. Say, Allah knows best how long they remained. His is the unseen of the heavens and the earth. How clear his sight and his hearing. There is no guardian for them beside him, and he associates none in his judgment. And recite that which has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. There is none who can alter his words, and thou wilt find no refuge beside him. And keep thyself with those who call on their Lord morning and evening, desiring his good will. And let not thine eyes pass from them, desiring the beauties of this world's life. And follow not him whose heart we have made unmindful of our remembrance, and he follows his low desires, and his case exceeds due bounds, and say, the truth is from your Lord. So let him who please believe, and let him who please disbelieve. Surely we have prepared for the iniquitous a fire, an enclosure of which will encompass them. And if they cry for water, they are given water like molten brass, scalding their faces, evil the drink, and ill the resting place. As for those who believe and do good, we waste not the reward of him who does a good work. These it is for whom are guardians of perpetuity, wherein flow rivers. They are adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they wear green robes of fine silk and thick brocade, reclining therein on raised couches. Excellent the recompense, and goodly the resting place.
Section 5, Sister Ebony.
Section 5, a parable. And set forth to them the parable of two men. For one of them we made 2 gardens of grapevines, and we surrounded them with date palms, and between them we made cornfields. Both these gardens yielded their fruits and failed not in aught thereof. And we caused a river to gush forth in their midst. And he had fruit. So he said to his companion while he argued with him, I have greater wealth than thou, and I am mightier in followers. And he went into his garden while he was unjust to himself. He said, I think not that this will ever perish. And I think not the hour will come. And even if I am returned to my Lord, I will certainly find a returning place better than this. His companion said to him while arguing with him, Disbelievest thou in him who created thee of dust, then of a small life germ, then he made thee a perfect man? But as for me, Allah, is my Lord, and I associate none with my Lord. And whoever didst thou not say, when thou enteredst thy garden, it is as Allah has pleased, there is no power save Allah. If thou consider me as less than thee is wealth and children, than thee in wealth and children, then maybe my Lord will give me better than thy gardens, and will send on thine a reckoning from heaven, so that it is dust without plant. Or its water will sink down into the ground, so that thou art unable to find it. And his fruit was destroyed, so he began to wring his hands for what he had spent on it, while it lay waste, its roof fallen down. And he said, Ah, me, would that I had ascribed no partners to my Lord. And he had no host to help him against Allah, nor could he defend himself. Thus protection is only Allah's, the true one. He is best to reward and best in requiting. Section 6. The guilty are brought to judgment. And set forth to them the parable of the life of this world as water which we send down from the cloud, so the herbage of the earth becomes luxuriant thereby. Then it becomes dry, broken into pieces which the winds scatter. And Allah is the holder of power over all things. Wealth and children are an adornment of life of this world, but the ever-abiding, the good works, are better with thy Lord in reward and better in hope. And the day when we cause the mountains to pass away, and thou seest the earth thou seest the earth a leveled plain, and we gather them together and leave none of them behind. And they are brought before thy Lord in ranks. Now certainly you have come to us as we created you at first. Nay, you thought that we had not made an appointment for you. And the book is placed, and thou seest the guilty fearing for what is in it, and they say, Oh, woe to us! What a book is this! It leaves out neither a small thing nor a great one, but numbers them all. And they find what they did confronting them. and thy Lord wrongs not anyone.
Praise be to Allah. Up next, we got Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, family. Section 7, their helplessness. And when we said to the angels, make submission to Adam, they submitted except Iblis. He was of the jinn. So he transgressed the commandment of his Lord. Will you then take him and his offspring for friends rather than me? And they are your enemies? Evil is the exchange for the unjust. I made them not to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor their own creation. Nor could I take those who mislead for aiders. And one day he will say, call on those whom you consider to be my partners. So they will call on them, but they will not answer them. And we shall cause a separation between them. And the guilty will see the fire and know that they are about to fall into it, and they will find no escape from it. Section 8, warning is disregarded. And certainly we have made distinct in this Quran for mankind every kind of description, and man in most things contentious. And nothing prevents men from believing when the guidance comes to them and from asking forgiveness of their Lord, but that they wait for the way of the ancients to overtake them, or that the chastisement should confront them. And we send not messengers, but as givers of good news and warning. And those who disbelieve contend with falsehood to weaken thereby the truth. And they take my messages and the warning for a mockery. And who is more unjust than he who is reminded of the messages of his Lord? Then he turns away from them and forgets what his hands have sent before. Surely we have placed veils over their hearts, lest they understand it, and a deafness in their ears. And if thou call them to the guidance, they will even then never follow the right course. And thy Lord is forgiving, full of mercy. Were he to punish them for what they earn, he would certainly hasten the chastisement for them. But for them there is an appointed time from which they will find no refuge. And these towns, we destroyed them when they did wrong, and we have appointed a time for their destruction.
Sister Bridget.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Ramadan Mubarak. Section 9. Moses travels in search of knowledge. And when Moses said to his servant, I will not cease until I reach the junction of the two rivers. Otherwise, I will go on for years. So when they reached the junction of the two rivers, they forgot their fish, and it took its way into the river, being free. But when they had gone further, he said to his servant, bring to us our morning meal. Certainly we have found fatigue in this our journey. He said, sawest thou when we took refuge on the rock? I forgot the fish, and none but the devil made me forget to speak of it, and it took its way into the river. What a wonder! He said, this is what we sought for. So they returned, retracing their footsteps. Then they found one of our servants, whom we have granted mercy from us, and whom we had taught knowledge from ourselves. Moses said to him, may I follow thee, that thou mayest teach me of the good thou hast been taught? He said, thou canst not have patience with me. And how canst thou have patience in that whereof thou hast not a comprehensive knowledge? He said, if Allah please, thou wilt find me patient, nor shall I disobey thee in aught. He said, if thou wouldest follow me, question me not about aught until I myself speak to thee about it. Section 10. Moses travels in search of knowledge. So they set out until when they embarked in a boat, he made a hole in it. Moses said, "Hast thou made a hole in it to drown its occupants? Thou hast surely done a grievous thing." He said, "Did I not say that thou couldst not have patience with me?" He said, "Blame me not for what I forgot, and be not hard upon me for what I did." So they went on until when they met a boy, he slew him. Moses,
Damn.
thank you. So they went on until when they met a boy, he slew him. Moses said, "Hast thou slain an innocent person, not guilty of slaying another? Thou hast indeed done a horrible thing."
Praise be to Allah. At least brother was paying attention when he was off the mic. Most be off the mic, don't be paying attention. Brother said, "Damn, done slew the little brother." At least the brother was paying attention though. Oh man, praise be to Allah. We have completed part 15. Oh, we now we there. We done turned that corner, y'all. We done turned that corner. Now it's time for feedback. Now, I've been looking at the comment section. I've been seeing, wow. I've been seeing. So, hey, we should have some good feedback today. Look like some stuff is standing out to y'all in the comment section. Ooh, y'all funny, boy. One of the first things that stands out for me in part 15, this is ayat 11, right up under the section, every deed has a consequence. And it reads, well, this is ayat 12. And we made the night and the day two signs. Then we have made the sign of the night to pass away, and we have made the sign of the day manifest, so that you may seek grace from your Lord, and that you may know the numbering of years and the reckoning, and we have explained everything with distinctness. Now, when I read that, what I got from that is, we make the night and the day two signs. We have made the sign of the day to manifest, but then it says sign of the night to pass away. You know, darkness. If how I'm seeing it, these are two signs, the same way it was dark last night. And for some of you all, it's still dark right now. In a few hours, the sun is going to rise and it'll be day again. Some of us are in our own personal lives, we may be in a time period of darkness. But if we heed the signs, as the Quran is showing us here, if we heed the sign that we have seen all of our life, there's always a state of darkness, but there's always sun around the corner. Sunshine coming in the morning for the most part. And sometimes you may get up in the morning, it's gloomy, clouds still out there, so we don't see the sun. But it's lighter than what it was last night. And here's another thing to remember. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that darkness is not real. It is simply the absence of light. So it's a shadow, right? So in our life, if we are in a state of darkness, it's really just the absence of light. And what is light? Light is the wisdom. Light is the word. Light is the knowledge, the understanding. So how I look at that is, when I am in darkness, there is possibly absence of knowledge, absence of light. And all I have to do is go get the knowledge, go get the light, so that I can have some light. Now, some of us, we just got to turn on the switch. It's not that you haven't paid the electricity bill. It's not that light isn't among you. You just gotta, hey man, turn your switch on because you already have it. But are you using it? See, some of us have the knowledge right now in our mind to overcome some of the problems that we have, but we're choosing not to use it. We're choosing not to execute on it. So our life is reflecting darkness when it don't have to, though. See, your room, it's like your room being dark, but it don't gotta be dark. You lazy and you don't want to get off the bed and go over there and turn the light. You don't want to go turn that light on. That's how some of our life is right now. Our light is on. Our light bill done been paid. We don't want to get up and go flip the switch. So for me, this was something, because right around the corner, it be light. Right around the corner, right around that knowledge, right around that wisdom that you have, your life can get better. It says that we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, right? That's Hosea 4:6, but then there's a verse. We always know that verse, but then there's a verse right after that, and it says they're in this condition because they have rejected the knowledge. See, it ain't that knowledge sometimes haven't already come to us. We have rejected the knowledge or we have rejected the light, so that's why our life is in gross darkness. So that's one of the things that stood out for me. Darkness is not real. It's simply the absence of light. All right. The Q, Sister Shireen.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always cut you off. Go ahead.
Ramadan Kareem.
My husband say the same thing. Cut him off too. So I'm gonna read just before the two signs. And man prays for evil as he ought to pray for good, and man is ever hasty. Yep, you see, I cut you off. I was hasty. And then right after that, verses 13 and 14 in Surah 17. And we have made every man's actions to cling to his neck, and we shall bring forth to him on the day of resurrection a book which he will find wide open. Read thy book. Thine own soul is sufficient as a reckoner against thee this day. So remember when the minister said his mom used to say, you don't have to tell a lie on anybody. The truth is bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you was just talking about the darkness that we're in. It's our actions that we have committed or acted out that is bringing us the turmoil and confusion. So all we have to do is undo what we did, and we have to backtrack, and we just have to be honest, and just be quicker to say, my bad, I messed up. And then we can just turn it around instead of repeating that I messed up. What comes after that? You know what I mean? And then those of us, the minister has given us the steps to atonement, and we need to revisit them and atone with ourselves, atone with our families, atone with our coworkers, whoever we have a disconnect with, but be honest about the root of that disconnection and then move forward with that. But if we just, deny our own actions and then put it on somebody else, we're never going to have the resolution that we are seeking. Assalamu alaikum. Have a great day.
Wa alaikum salam. Now, Sister Khadijah, don't be hyping me up now. Talking about you see the waves. Don't be hype. Don't be hype. Don't be hyping me up now. Now you gotta look from like a 45 degree, you got a side eye. If you side eye, you can kind of see them coming in now. No, don't hype me up. I'll go put some grease on that mug and bring them waves on that. But Shout out to Brother Marcus, man. Let's read what Brother Marcus said for the community. I really love this group. Everyone here is so heartwarming and loving, open arms, and just makes this Ramadan so comfortable for me. Thank you. Praise be to Allah. That's how we want to be. We want the power call to be just so welcoming. And we like you feel like you're getting a spiritual virtual hug, man. So, man, thank you, Brother Marcus, for doing this with us, man, and being vulnerable enough to come on this call and try it out with us and do this with us. That's the goal, man. This goal is to just make this a big old. Now, y'all know our next goal is next year. Now, we done surpassed our goal from last year. Next year, we got to have 500 people live. I'm talking about on the Zoom, though. So that means we're going to have we may need to get 1,000 people live in the morning. That's our next goal for next year. So I'm letting you know now. So we got some work to do. So we're gonna have to invite next year. Let everybody know how your Ramadan did. Because next year the goal is 1,000 people live. Not afterwards, not at the end of the day. I'm talking about live in the morning. 1,000 people. Oh man, that's gonna be amazing. All right, let's go to who's up next, Sister Lexi? Who we got up next? I was feeling so dirty before I started Ramadan, but now I feel clean. Ooh, Ramadan. Now let me tell y'all something. Let me give y'all this while Sister Alexia give me that message I need. But man, during Ramadan, it do make you feel a little clean, don't it? When with certain people around, you don't even want to be around them. How y'all felt that this Ramadan where you just be irritated? Don't feel bad. It's a part of the process. When you fasting like that and you ain't never fasted before, you just be irritated. Why you smacking like that? Why you eating like, you just get irritated. So practice your patience. When that come up in you, just practice your patience, because I'm telling you, that happens all the time when you fasting. Certain things that didn't bother you, it just bothers you now. So just that's your time to practice your patience when that feeling come on up in you. Let's go to Brother Remus.
Yes, sir, big brother. Man, you waking it up. Ain't nothing wrong with that feeling. Woo, that's good to hear. Good to know. It's coming up out of you. The distaste for what just ain't right. It just grows. You really want to separate yourself. But I wanted to go to Surah 7. Well, let's go to chapter 17, and section 2. Every deed has a consequence. And it says, and man prays for evil as he ought to pray for good. And man is ever hasty. And we made the night and the day 2 signs. We read that, you guys. I think we read that. Made the sign of the night. Yeah, that part. That was big. You highlighted the part about the light is there. And I think about our people, and they know so well when they see the Muslims and they see the brothers and sisters, and they know that light is there. And you hear people talking in different circles, when we gonna do this? Why come we don't have that? And right in front of their face, they know doggone well, they see a certain unity, a peace. They don't see a certain kind of cursing at each other amongst those that believe. And it's like they won't even look at it. It's like they act like that's not even there. It's like that's not even a part of them. And I just think and reflect back on how we've been made so against what's right. And evil is so fair seeming. And I just thought about that. And again, shout out to my sister that was reading this morning. Man, I got to take my grammar classes from my sister, my 8-year-old sister, because it's like, part of my mind be trying to hear what she's saying, but I'm so caught in anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. But it was just so amazing to just have the truth coming through and know that we have this light. And, I think about the Most High Elijah Muhammad talked about a clean glass. Just be a clean glass of water. When you set the truth and the clean glass of water next to all the dirty and the filthiness that's going on, and just keep on shining light. Shout out to the brothers that are out there feeding the homeless downtown LA and just out and about. And I can only imagine they must think these are some angels that came up on them, because the way the brothers showing up 10 deep, 12 deep with that final call, and just in that darkness of those that just don't have that light. And I think about how their parents, if you've been in America for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 generations, somebody around you has been on the right page. And you have that light. That light has been seen in amongst certain people. You know that they got a certain light and they got a certain understanding, and they have a way of getting down that you know is healthier, is better. And whatever that rebelliousness is, that spirit that just wants to go with the darkness, overtakes us at times, and we just think that's the norm, and we just almost, wallow in our own pity for self, almost like we want to have a sad story or something, it seems. But if ever we get ready to say, you know what, let me just go ahead and get in that light, it's going to be much better. So I just wanted to share that with the family, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay strong, and congratulations on everybody for sticking and still being here 15 days in.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Remus, boy, they be loving you, Brother Remus. They love that feedback, especially on YouTube, Brother Remus. This Brother Remus, right? He come on here, he do the hands, Assalamu alaikum, beloved, because, Brother Remus be teaching, though, the way we had them hands go.
Come on.
Brother Remus had them hands connected with the word, boy. That's Brother Remus, boy. One of the things that stands out, another thing that stood out for me was when it said, and no bearer of a burden can bear the burden of another bearer. And man, I've had to learn this over the years, unfortunately. I've had to learn that really, really, really self-improvement is the basis. Like you can't improve for somebody else. Oh, I know this is going to touch somebody. You can't improve for somebody else. You ever been in a position where it's like you try to develop for someone else, and then you do stuff and you give them this and you give them that, but it's like it still don't work because they have to do their own work. They have to do their own development. You studying and you growing and you having the discipline, you can't transfer that over to them. They have to develop, they have to sacrifice, they have to struggle with their own impediment, their own trial. And man, it ain't nothing. I mean, and it goes back to something that Brother Remus just said. Many people say, oh, when we gonna do this and when we gonna build that and when we, man, some people don't know what it's like to really resurrect a person. They think it's easy. And if it was that easy, you would be doing it by the thousands and the hundreds on a daily basis. Do you know how hard it is to get a Negro to come to study group 10 minutes away for his own personal development? They'll tell you, yeah, I'm coming. They call soon as 7:15, 17 come. Oh man, some came up, bro. No, I'm not gonna be my car man, but I'll come get you. No, cause I got my niece. So to resurrect one person is hard enough. So to think that having a building, a restaurant, yeah, all that's good. But if we don't build the people, if we don't build the black man and woman who's going to run the restaurant, who's going to manage the land, who's going to manage the businesses, see those businesses and all this going to fall apart because we got underdeveloped men and women running it. So I've attempted to, well, maybe they just need money. You give them money. That don't work. Because if they're not here mentally, you can give them literally $10,000. Here, man, take care, do this, fix it. They'll blow it. Because mentally, we don't know how to manage that. And this is only going to magnify who I am. So I'm finna take this and go do what my heart desires. See? So you can give them a book, you can give them a chapter to read, you cannot do the work for somebody else. And I'm telling you, That is a painful thing, especially when you really love somebody and you just, well, let me try this. Well, let me give them this and that. And it don't work. They have to sacrifice. They have to do the work. They have to do it, man. And so that's one of the things that I didn't notice that before last year in the Quran, but I'm noticing it now, that, man, you cannot bear the burden of them. They have to, you can enjoin them to do good. You can invite them. You can encourage them. You can strive to be an example of it, but you cannot do the work for them. Everybody got to do the work for themselves. We can go build whatever we want to build, but black people still got to do that work internally. They still got to, that fight that all of us have on this Zoom, that internal fight, the real war, all of black people got that same battle within that they have to fight on their own. We can't fight it for them. Now, we can help them in it, encourage them, we can teach, we can do it. But then look at what the minister said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it's going to take more than teaching to get our people. Some of us are going to have to go through chastisement in order to get it. So the dry bones didn't come together until the winds blew. Sometimes it's going to take some wind to blow to get us to understand it. And sometimes it's unfortunate because some of the bones that ain't going to shake up or ain't going to come together until the wind blow, going to be your friend. It's going to be your brother. It's going to be your sister. It's going to be a family member. They didn't heed the call. So he said the best of us will come by the word. The rest of us will come by the whooping. Woo! Good God Almighty. There we go. So who we got up next? Sister Brianna.
Assalamu alaikum, fine folk. Ramadan Mark. Wow, y'all just, I apologize. Y'all just took some thoughts right out of my head. Now, I'll start with what Brother Ben X just said. I told y'all a couple days ago I went to like a Seventh-day Adventist church. What's it, Monday? Anywho, and I was in like the children's section. Like they have like Sabbath school. And I learned so much in that Sabbath school. But at the end of it, we were playing a game like, what haven't you done? And then when we got down to like 5 coins each, she was like, well, what have you not done that Jesus has done? So she was saying stuff like, raise people from the dead. And they all threw a coin in. I was like, no. Like, we don't want to exalt ourselves, but we also don't want to be bashful. Like, if you're doing the work, you're helping in that. You're aiding in that resurrection process. And this lady was looking at me like I was crazy. When I tell you, she was like, oh, this is what you think of yourself. But it's so imperative to be firm in who you are. Be firm in what you know. Right? Like we're taught that we'll have to retrain or reteach, like the Muslim world, and maybe teach properly our brothers and sisters in different walks of faith, but we're all getting to the number 7, which is a point I always make. Like 5 + 2 is 7, 3 + 4 is 7, 6 + 1 is 7. It doesn't matter how you get there. As long as we're getting there together. Right? And man, what Brother Remus said, because we all have a default emotion, right? Like there's some people I know in their 40s, 50s. I don't like this already. Oh, life ain't changing, but it can though, right? So what is your default feeling? And then I was driving during this section, so I don't know what the actual ayat is, but it was when Brother King Cam was talking, was reading. And it says, and the devil is ever ungrateful to his Lord. And I was like, oh, Allah doesn't like ingratitude. So it's like when we are ungrateful, is that us being devils? Right? Are we partaking in our own, let's say, demise? Right? Are we setting ourselves back because we're being ungrateful or whichever? And then when Sister Talia was speaking, it was 1766. Your Lord is he who speeds the ships for you. So he's showing you, like, he can speed it up for you. but there's something that we are doing that's holding us back because he is ready, right? What is it? Man, I always butcher this saying. I like saying it too, but I always butcher it. I need to stop saying I always butcher it. I butcher it sometimes. Where it's like, fields await the man and woman. Yeah, somehow no. You know what I'm saying? The
Big fields await black man and woman.
that one, but it's also like working towards what he has for you. Right? Like he's just waiting for you to put the work in so he can speed up that shit for you. All right, that's all because I'm all stumbling.
Sister Bridget.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. So I'm looking at section 9 and 10 of chapter 18, the cave. Moses traveled in search of knowledge. We go right back to self-improvement, the basis for community development. We are urged to practice patience. So let's go to the boat, right? When Moses saw the wise man bore a hole in the boat, this is from the footnote, right? He started wondering what he was doing, but the wise men told him that, look, the ruler of the land is seizing all boats. And if the ruler takes these boats, then the poor people then won't be able to do any fishing to make any money. So he put a hole in that boat to sink it, so that when all of the confusion is finished, that person is able to mend the hole and use the boat to get fishes. The other part, when he killed the boy, he couldn't understand why, but he's saying this child would have brought grief to his parents. So they were able to go back and have another child that was more righteous. In another place, the wise man went into a community and the people was mean to them. And while he was leaving, there was a wall that was breaking down and he fixed it. And Moses is like, why you fix the wall? You know, sister, them Ray and them Tay. So he said, look, 2 boys are there. Their father died and left treasures in the earth where that treasure is. So he had to build a wall, because if that wall came down, then the community would have seen the treasure and they would have taken the treasure. So he built the wall to keep it firm till when the day come, when they're of age, they're able to get the treasure. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in the self-improvement, the basis for community development, when he spoke about the stages of his development, from the embryo to the clot, to birth from the womb, to growing up, he spoke about people falling off as he grew, or as he grew, people fall off because they don't understand his steps and his movements that he's getting from Allah through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we have to walk with him patiently, because we're not going to always understand what he's doing. But just remember that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the mouthpiece of God. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, now, official Yahweh Emmanuel. Okay, you want to be addressed. I see you. Okay, so here you go. Let me give you some time. You said, how can you learn from a book that came 360 plus AD after Jesus? Then you said the Quran, because we was reading out of the children of Israel. Then you say the Quran leading Hebrew Israelites back to the truth, that your Lord was for the Hebrew Israelites, nobody else. I mean, I don't even know if we be knowing what we be saying sometimes. On one end, you say, how can we learn from a book that's 300? Then you say, look at the Quran. Then you say, it's leading us back to the truth, because now it's talking about the children of Israel. Listen, man. You up early in the morning you up early this morning on the stream, causing havoc. Now, I done already put you in time out this morning. Please don't come on here during Ramadan, because we ain't going to argue with you, because we ain't going back and forth with you during Ramadan. Just relax and chill, okay? Just tune in and listen to it. Now, how can we learn from a book? The way that we've been doing it for the past 15 days. Learning, growing. I mean, the testimony of people growing spiritually, mentally. We getting guidance. Listen, it confirms the truth of the Bible. Take it or let it alone. So listen, man, just relax and chill. And you know what Brother Winfrey used to say? Brother Winfrey used to say, boy, Allah got that spirit whipped. And what he meant by that was, it was those who used to come on there and type like they had a disagreement, but their spirit was so in tune with what was being said that you couldn't even leave. So see, if you really was upset about what was, you would have been, oh man, I'm not finna be listening to no Muslims read no Quran. But the reason you really still here, you still here because you like, boy, it's really in tune with your spirit. So it's your mind that's got the division in your mind, but your heart and your spirit like, man, don't leave now. Don't leave. You can't swipe. Don't swipe off. Don't leave. So then your mind has to justify why you still here typing. So listen, I get it. I understand. But listen, you're not going to get no argument this morning. So just sit down, take a seat, and just relax. Just relax. Tune into the show and grow. Because you about to get in timeout. I'm finna put you in a 20-minute timeout where all you can do is listen. So just chill out, listen to the teachings, and if there's something that you can grow with it. And if it's something you disagree with it right now, that's fine. But relax in the comment section before you get put in timeout again, okay? Who's next, Sister Alexia? Who we got up next? Brother Antone.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
No, it's been on my heart since we've been reading, but here and there we'll run across the ayat that speak about the orphans. Now we know orphans represent, people who may not have no father, may not have no mother or no family that really love them or care for them. So we got orphans all the way across the board. We got orphans in different religious communities. We got orphans like real live orphans that people taking care of and they getting paid for it. But I trip off how I say, devour not the orphan's wealth before they reach full age. And I just trip off how I look at like some of the literal orphans who people take in and they getting money from the state to provide for them. And a lot of people is bringing a hellfire on themselves, because I notice these orphans, when they reach 18, I done seen some of them grow up from little to where they all the way grown. They reach 18 and now they just out in the streets on their own, wandering around, begging for food like they broke. And that just showed me that some people is getting money from the state for these orphans and they devouring the wealth. They not putting nothing to the side for when this orphan get grown and got to be off on his own. They just getting that money from the state and they using it for their own personal pleasure. They getting new cars, making their house look more extravagant, getting work done to this and to that. And the Quran, that's why I love the guidance of the Quran, because it teach us how to deal with people in the correct way, the way they should be dealt with. And as far as the orphans from other communities, like you was just saying, we just, what I'm saying, we gotta be patient with people and, let them listen in, because it's one thing about the truth. No matter what your mind been given, no matter what you think you done learned intellectually because you was just ignorant and didn't know certain things, so you run across a body of knowledge and you think it's feeding you and directing you right. But then you hear the real truth that reached down into your soul. It reached to the root. Because see, we've been given by Master Pharaoh Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we've been given root knowledge. So since we have root knowledge, we go straight to the root of things. And no matter what, nobody disagree with or say, the truth is going to reach down into the root of your being, and it's going to connect, because we've been given the truth from Allah. We know that Islam is the nature of everything. Everything in creation submits. So before we given any other titles, before we given anything, we are Islam and Muslim to the core. Because no matter what, the first thing that had to take place when Allah was self-developing himself and dealing with the forces to develop creation, submission had to take first. The elements had to obey in order to be put in order and motion and a function that will make them be able to produce and develop and progress and grow and keep on progressing and becoming more and more and more to the benefit of what we need the creation to function for. So everything at its root is Islam and Muslim, whether you disagree or agree. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Sister Sally? Sister Sally, you still here? Okay, if you can give it to me.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Alaikum salam.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
I'm just going to speak to my journey and how this Ramadan has been going for me. In regard to what the person was saying about the person in the chat, what the person was saying about the Quran and how do you know if it's doing this and if it's doing that? Well, I'm going to speak to what I'm experiencing. You know when you're sinning, you know when things is not going right in your life. Allah will show you what's going on in your life. He'll show you the things that you're doing. You'll feel it down in your soul. And it's those tendrils and them, those feelings that you get, like that fire that's coming up in your back and in your feet and everything. You feel it. You know when it's you. You know when it's speaking to you. And I say that to say this. Before Ramadan, I was just all kind of way, like cursing out the mouth, just, all kind of way, just being any kind of way. But that speaks to what the minister was saying in his lecture about when you sin, it shows up on your skin. I broke out with a terrible rash. It was all over my face, all over my body, all over everywhere. But then when Ramadan started, and I heard that it was starting, and I was getting ready for it, preparing and everything. And then when I got started with it, as I was going into the days, like counting down, getting into the reading and, participating with the group and everything, I am seeing that this skin rash has completely disappeared to almost nothing.
Wow.
So whatever that person is saying, you speaking to yourself, because God will show you when you're doing what you're doing is wrong. And but he is so merciful and so forgiving. And you feel that. You feel that almost to the point like it makes you cry. It makes you cry because you feel his mercy. You feel his mercy. You feel his grace. You feel it, and you see it. You see it in your life. So whatever that person is saying, God bless you and whatever's going on in your life, but I pray you find the light. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Look at that. Woo! The power of a testimony. You never had to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean one next to it. Oh, thank you, sister, for sharing that. All praise is due to Allah. Let's go to Brother Mark.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brother Ben X, thank you, brother, for this Ramadan that you're holding. It is really energizing me. But what I would like to point out, what just jumped out at me, adding on to what the sister said before about Moses in search of knowledge. You know, the slaying of the child, the hole in the boat, building the wall. He told Moses at first that his knowledge was not high enough to understand what he was going to do. So now when we apply that to all of us, you know, we're growing in knowledge, but it's not, you know, we should always be striving to grow in knowledge. But when we witness things, we can only process it as far as our knowledge will take it. So the rest of it is emotional. And Moses, all of those situations, his response was extremely emotional. Oh my God, you slayed somebody. Oh God, you sunk the boat. Now we have to take these circumstances and we have to apply this to the civil war that's coming. Minister Farrakhan said that it's going to be bloody. So that means that we're going to experience very dramatic, emotional things that we're probably not going to be ready for because we really don't know what's coming. And if we look at how the devil is stirring this soup, this bowl, this pot, look at all of these people that they say, hey, hurry up, come. You a prisoner? Oh, good, we want you more. They are getting ready for a purge feast. This thing that's coming is going to be extremely emotional. Even though the minister is preparing for us, we need to prepare ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because Moses in search of knowledge, Black people in America, we're going to be searching too. And it's not gonna be nice. So, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Ayah that has been continuously showing up. It is when Allah saying to the angels, be submissive to Adam, or make even obeisance to Adam. Now, there's a part in the Quran where it says only make obeisance to Allah. Then it says make obeisance to Adam. But anyways, it says, and we sinned and we said to the angels, be submissive to Adam. Everybody submitted except Iblis, right? And he said, because he has created him of dust. Or, you know, dust could be something that's worthless, nothing, you know, don't really have a purpose, right? Now, the thing here is that Allah, who is the originator, is the one who's telling you to submit. So what comes up in the mind when you're denying Allah? When you're denying Allah, who is the creator? You trying to tell him, oh, I'm made of fire and he's made of dust. He's the best knower. He's the best of planners. He the one who made you, boy. Now, I know some of us, as we hear that, we saying, yeah, how could he do that? But, you know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us self-improvement is the basis of community development. And I would like to say, some of us possibly have been in bliss in another way. How many of us have heard the voice of God from within us telling us about how great we are and the things that we need to do, and we have denied it because we think so little, not of somebody else, so little of ourselves? You didn't think I was going to come from that angle, did you? It's easy for us to say, oh, look at he bliss. I can't believe he would deny Allah. Allah's the one who told him. Why? How would you say, you so arrogant? Oh, but what about when Allah is telling you something about you? What about when Allah is telling us about the greatness within ourselves and we deny ourselves because we look at ourselves as something that's just created of dust? We ain't nothing. So you won't pick up on the voice of God within that's telling you how great you are, that's telling you to go out and move out on that idea that I gave you. Move out on that idea, submit to it. Yeah, that's me. That's coming from within. Yeah, come on. Go submit to it. Force and power. That's what God is. Go execute on it. But you say, I don't know if I'm going to submit to that. I don't know if I'm going to go out and do that. See, it's easy for us to talk about. See, when we hear of bliss, we got a person that comes to our mind. Oh, yeah, I got a bliss in my head. Yeah, that hypocrite, that nigga that be tripping at the mall. Yeah, no. Come on, really back in. And think about that time when God was talking to you and you deny yourself. So that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at this. I'm thinking about all them times where God is saying, hey, submit, boy. When you submit to the voice within, that is God. And why are you denying that voice to submit to that about yourself? So that's something, to think about. I didn't even know I was going to come from that angle, honestly. The angle I wanted to come from was just the fact that, hey, this is Allah. This is Allah telling you. So whether you think you better than this person or not, to hell with what you thinking about. This is the best knower, the best of planners. You need to humble yourself and say, hey, I don't get it. I don't know, but I'm going to submit. Which now it brings me to this point about Moses. Moses, hey, I'm traveling with a wise man. I don't know. I don't get it, but I probably don't get it because I don't got a comprehensive knowledge. And if I had a comprehensive knowledge, I may understand it. And see, sometimes in life, you are right. He is made of dust, possibly. And you are made of something different, possibly. But the reason Allah chose him is out of my understanding right now. So let me submit on the fact that it's Allah telling me. Is there any areas in our own life where we can apply that principle? Where I may not understand it, I don't know, but let me submit anyway. And in my submission and in my faith, I may gain understanding over time through my submission. See, I may not always have a comprehensive knowledge, but I can have faith. And my faith can lead me to a comprehensive knowledge over time. See, I'm going to be honest, when I first came to the nation, I didn't understand Allah coming in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. I'm just going to be real with you. But over time, I think I get it now. Now, the minister said, you never know. So don't get it twisted now. You never know God. That was the lecture. that I was just listening to. You never just know. So don't think, see, the moment you think you got it, you lost it. So you always on a journey of understanding the God now. But you got to have faith. See, I'm coming from thinking that, oh man, look at Jesus. That's Jesus right there in the sky. Oh, I was spooky, boy. Oh yeah. Oh, look at him looking down on me. What? Jesus looking down. You know how you can imagine things in the sky? Look, there go the eyes right there. Ooh, there go the mouth right there. Now, some of y'all probably wasn't that spooky. Oh, I was that spooky. I was, boy, look, there he is. Look at it, look at it. There go his face right there, looking down on him. See, so you gotta, so coming from that, you know, Baptist, yeah, you, man, coming into person, man, I'm trying to wrap my head around, man, whoa. But the faith, then as you have faith and then you're patient, and then over time it starts to make sense. Then you do your studying. Hey, don't you know that you are the real temple of God? Oh, this in the Bible. You're the real temple of God, and that the Spirit dwells within you. Oh, ye are all God's children of the Most High God. Oh, man, you get to, oh, okay, I'm understanding this now. You see? So that's one of the things that that stands out to me, man. Even when you think your eyesight and what you physically see and what you physically have, that's one thing. But when Allah tells you something, have faith in it. One of them is in the Bible. It talks about, hey, when you do the work, basically, you don't think I clothe you, feed you. I feed the fowls. I feed the animals. You don't think I feed. Some of us don't believe Allah will come through with his promise. See, in the Supreme Wisdom Lessons, it talks about luxury, money, good home, friendship of all walks of life. On condition, this is the minister teaching us, on condition that we submit. See, we got to submit first. We can't say, God, you take one towards me, I'm going to take something. No, you take one towards the God, and then he'll take more towards you. So we got to have faith when there's not logic. We have to have faith when there is not understanding. And it's not that you just blind faith. That's not what I'm promoting. Not blind faith, but you have the faith, and then over time you gain a comprehensive knowledge. So that's one of the things that stood out for me. All right, next up we got Brother Darquell. I think that's how you say it, right? Is that how you say it?
Sister Darquell.
Sister Darquell, I'm sorry.
No problem. I just wanted to guide back off of the verse you were speaking of, Brother Ben, and then the verse the brother was speaking of about the orphans. I remember I was blessed to spend some time with Mother Tynetta. And we were talking one day, and she was talking about our children. And she was saying how we cannot always run to our children's aid. And in this, it goes across again what you were saying, because it has to do with dealing with others as well. She was saying we cannot always run to our children's aid, because when we do that, we're making ourselves a God besides Allah in our children's lives. And that's what we're doing when we're constantly running to the aid of others instead of allowing them to go through whatever they need to go through in order to deepen their love, their understanding with Allah. So that brought that to mind when you were speaking of that ayat of everyone has to go through their own trials, and we can't do anything for them all the time. And what the brother was speaking of the orphans, and when we look at the definition of an orphan is not just someone who doesn't have parents, according to the definition. We're taught to clear words. But an orphan is also someone or something who lacks support or care or supervision. When you look at that definition, that relates to us. We are orphans in this country, in this nation. So when we look at everything in the Quran where Allah is telling us the chastisement of those who took advantage of the orphans, that also has to deal with our open enemy, because he has put us in this position and is trying to steal our inheritance. So all that chastisement is being brought down on our open enemy, because we are orphans, can be considered orphans in this land.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. I seen Brother Marcus said, man, I'm trying to find the mosque. Anybody who wants to attend the mosque, we have a process already inside the Telegram. Inside of the Telegram, you're going to go to the chat that says ready to attend study group /mosque. All you have to do is put your name, email, and your location, and we're going to reach out and we're going to help you out because we got some instructions for you of what to do once you get to the mosque. So wherever you are, put your name, So all this in the Telegram. It's not this. Don't do it in the Zoom because we're trying to listen to the feedback. So inside of the Telegram, go to ready to attend study group /mosque, and one of the sisters gonna get with you. Just put your name, but not your name. We obviously can see your name, your email, and your location, and we're gonna help guide you and get you the information that you need. And then those of you all who are over here on the YouTube channel, I'm going to get you all the Canva link so that you can, if for those who are interested in joining into the Telegram Power community, I'm gonna get you the instructions where you can get the details on how to navigate the Telegram. Okay, so this link that I'm putting inside of the chat for you guys right now, just click that link if you want to navigate and be a part of the Telegram community. Also, while that's on my mind, the sisters only classes and the brothers only classes will start back up after Ramadan, and that's going to take place inside of our app. Okay, so that's going to take, because we do have our own app that's going to take place inside of the app. So just in case some of y'all was wondering when we going to start that back up, it's going to start back up after Ramadan. Okay, and it's going to take place inside the app. Oh, and for the brothers, Brother Malik just hit me yesterday. He said, man, when we going to start the brothers? So we still got Brother Malik on deck. So brothers, we will officially be starting our classes, brothers only classes, after Ramadan. So I just want to give y'all that update. Yes, in the Mighty app. Yep. Brother Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. You said some powerful stuff, Brother Ben, and some other comments was very powerful. I was thinking about one of the things that came to my mind is that I'm always checking my mute button to make sure I'm on mute because I don't want to cause any nuisance while somebody shares some wisdom. I might say something and interfere with one of the students getting something they need. So I'm always conscious of my mute button, and I make sure that I'm always muted, especially if I'm moving around at work. And I know one day I was off mute and kind of made a ruckus, and I do apologize for that. Surah 17, verse 15. Whoever goes aright, for his own soul does he go aright. Whoever goes astray to his detriment, only does he go astray. And no bearer of a burden can bear the burden of another, nor do we chastise until we raise a messenger. And then the one above that, read thy book, this is 14, thy own soul is sufficient as a reckoner against thee this day. That verse reminds me of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about the day of judgment. He said, you know you're in judgment when your own soul, your mind, your own person begins to bear witness against yourself. This reminds me of what Brother Ben was speaking about in regards to the study guides and the voice of God within when we're receiving instructions from the God, when their voice admonishes us, warns us, guides us, reproves us. And we have to listen to their voice to grow. But the minister asks us, would we knowingly kill the messenger of Allah? And he said that when we silence that voice within, we are in fact murdering the messenger of Allah within. He said within this hour, we must never, and he used the word never, still that voice within, for it is the best friend we have, and it is God working on the inside of us. So that stood out to me. And also I was looking at Surah 18, and I found the narrative of the cave to be very, very powerful. And I want to go to the verse because I don't want to waste time trying to find it. But when they spoke about the youths in the cave, they spoke about two types of youth, and Mother Tanetta went into this when she was speaking about it. One of the youth sought refuge in the cave, but they were believers in Allah and they was trying to do right. And another group was doing otherwise. And the group that was trying to do right, it made me think about the time when we were in shelter in place and we had to stay in our homes. We were instructed to turn our homes into places of worship and to shelter in place and draw closer to our Lord and to clean ourselves up. That home could be likened to a cave. I remember when Prophet Muhammad was trying to seek solace and find peace of mind, he received his first revelation in the cave of Hijra. And that's where he got his revelation in that solitude. So if we look at this in modern time and we're trying to draw closer to Allah, most of the things that we partake in is in our homes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the people's homes is their graveyard. So this is where we are resurrected from. So I liken that cave unto our homes, and when we are studying and trying to do the things that we need to do, that our homes is like a cave. And finally, what also came to my mind was when the two gentlemen embarked on the journey, and they forgot their fish, and he said, "None that the devil maybe not speak of it." I thought about how, and I think Sister Shireen mentioned this earlier, when we know we holding something that's not right, and we don't want to reveal it, but holding it and not revealing it can cause great damage. And it was said that none but the devil made him hold it. It's best to speak truth, admit things can be fixed when we take the steps of atonement and try to reconcile what was wrong and make it right. But that mindset of trying to withhold, that's a pervasive and prevailing mindset that he carried all the way until he started traveling with the wise man, and then all kinds of other things started coming out. Moses. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that this is not talking about Moses. He said no prophet of God follows God like that. He said this is talking about how his followers, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's followers, follow him in doubt and suspicion. And we have been told in Closing the Gap that the followers follow almost in 99% doubt and suspicion. And that is something that we're going to have to get rid of, which I believe is tied to self-hatred and not us not trusting ourselves. And we certainly have an issue with really understanding that God is a black man and that he came and raised two black men and has imbued them with supreme wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And the minister said, we're going to have to trust the guide, and our level of submission to the guide will determine how safe we will be in this hour. So we're going to have to take the teachings and learn to love ourselves and to trust that God coming through ourselves and giving us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that we can grow and get our own foot out of our own way so that we can trust the guides that's in front of us. Because I just heard the minister say, and obedience is the highest form of sacrifice. He said, none of us are smart enough to get ourselves out of the traps that this enemy, the white man, is laying for us. And he mentioned how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the tail of the dragon will get a third of the stars of heaven. And he said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that meant the holy wise scientists of Islam. So he said if the holy wise scientists have to be totally on guard to avoid the tail of the dragon, then we have to be totally submissive to the guide so that we won't get hit and swiped by the tail and make it through. So those are some of the points that stood out to me. Thank you, fam.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Alexa, if you could just send me like a list of those names so I can already know who's next. Sister Diabra.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. I actually have a question and a comment. And my comment is in regards to Noah. And I think it was just really sweet that what you were saying, Brother Ben, about the Noah situation. And then some of what Brother Daniel just said is in my comment. So, so in regards to Noah, and his son, Noah tried to encourage his son to come aboard, the boat, the ark with him, but his son made the decision to go to the top of the mountain because he thought he knew what was better for himself instead of following the guidance of his father. So his decision caused him to perish. So we have to be aware how we can abort our own progress by thinking we know better and by um, not following the guidance. And my question is that, and I humbly ask this to the Power Call family because I just want to be correct. So in our prayers, and I'm taking this from chapter 17, ayat 110, say, call on Allah or call on the Beneficent. By whatever name you call on him, he has the best names, and utter not thy prayer loudly, nor be silent in it, and seek a way between these. In the footnote 1477, the two extremes with regard to prayer are in utterance in a very loud voice or not uttering any word at all with the tongue, thinking that Allah knows what is in the hearts. The Muslims are told to take the middle course between these two extremes. Utterance of words make the prayer go deeper down into the heart of man and thus makes it more effective. So my question is that we say our Zuhr, Asr, and Maghrib prayer, especially particularly the Zuhr and Asr prayer. It's my understanding we say those prayers, and I'm talking about the traditional, obligatory. We say those prayers in silent. So that's what I needed some understanding about. And then the Maghrib prayer, we say the first two rakas in, we say that verbally, but then the third one, we say that in silence. So if someone can just kindly guide me in the right direction because I may be incorrect. And that's all I have. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Great question. Great question. So if anybody has an answer to that, please get in the queue and bring your answer. Is it just I know you told me yesterday, Sister Jania, right? Is she still here? All right, let's go to Brother Justin. All right, let's go to Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. I'll start with the question. It's just to ask. In the prayer video that your brother...
Brother, bring me on after Brother Remus.
Brother can go. If you want to go first, Brother Justin. I know he was calling on you first.
My bad. I was saying go ahead, argue it to my brother. I'll just go after you. Yes, sir.
All right, we're not going to fight over who goes first, brother. I'll go. But anyway, Ramadan Mubarak. But so the sister was asking, what I've always learned, and the brother affirmed it if you can get that video in the Telegram, in the chat. I know the video of the prayer. Your brother covered that. If you watch it closely, it was you're not trying to say it all loud, and you're not trying to say it like quiet. There's like a little spot where you can kind of hear yourself talking. Just kind of, so you're not disturbing your neighbor per se, but you're not being proud and boastful with it. And then the footnote you read said something along the lines. You're kind of hearing it. The last part of what you read. So it's something along those lines. For what it's worth, you can look into that. But what I really wanted to say before that was also this idea of the hierarchy we talked about on the part 14, the hierarchy in wisdom and knowledge, and Allah talking to the angels, and Brother Ben brought up the end of the day, bow down to that man, and then Iblis wouldn't do it. I can't help but think about this idea, bow down to Elijah, is where Master Pharaoh Muhammad came. And the world, now we're 94 years into this process from 1930. And this third grade educated Black man, the world has a problem bowing down to Black, especially Sandersville, Georgia, third grade. I think about the Divine Nine, our educated brothers and sisters, when you look at the history of the nation, and it was like, give me your despised and rejected ones. The ones that had no problem embracing the idea that the white man is a devil, because we knew we was amongst some devils. And those brothers that come in and sisters and different walks of life, but the lettered ones from the white man's education, higher education, approved people, and how the guidance, Allah didn't put it in their hands. You couldn't get more bottom rung for earth than the so-called Negro. And I'm going, Allah at the right time. We know 1914, this white man's world was up. All the rest of this is just watching that thing fall apart while Allah's building a whole new solid foundation. And so it's like, judge not lest ye be judged. But I have my evil suggestions, Master Pharaoh Muhammad said, devils, but he said, I have mine in check. Man, if you could, boy, when I heard that coming into the nation, Brother Ben, he said, I have mine in check. I got the same whisperings and that anybody has. He said, but I just got mine in check. That's all about discipline. That's all about the right hand over the controlling yourself and your own lower desires, putting it, get thee behind me, Satan. Man, and so I just wanted to share that because this idea with our people, when we're seeing each other, we have to be so off returning to mercy because Allah came to save us. We might still see each other crazy, but Allah's saying, that one that you seeing crazy, I came to save that one. That one got big use in my mind. And one other thing I wanted to really share was Sister Bridget, a couple days ago, yesterday, talked about the levels of good and doing good and the justice at the lowest level, doing justice. And even in the white man's world, you see the justice and stuff like that in the law, the letter of the law. But there's a spirit in the law. And getting to a point of justice where it's second nature, you just do good instinctively. Because I thought again about when the Most High Elijah Muhammad said, they weren't made, the good is not in them because of how they were made. And they can do good if the right pressure is on them, they will act right. But just of the nature to just do good, oh man, to disavow ourselves of thinking that that's in them, because the only way we can get tripped up is thinking somebody else gonna do justice by us and us not doing justice by each other. And this is really the reversing of Yaqub. For those of you that haven't heard Yaqub yet, I'm just talking some stuff that in the nation we know. But I'm really trying to exhort you to dig into that and look into the process of killing off the original and saving the weaker part and highlighting the weaker part, highlighting the weaker part, highlighting the weaker part. Before you know it, you look up and it's very weak because you're not highlighting the strength side. And I know that's where the scales of balance are now kicking in. So much of that that I just wanted to share about the time that we're living in. And so this idea of Iblis, this idea of the fallen angel, and this one that wouldn't submit. Allah makes no mistakes. It had to happen. We're getting a chance to study the worst part of ourselves and overcome it and put it in check. So I pray y'all have an amazing Ramadan as we try to do that.
Yes, sir. Up next, we have Brother Justin.
All praises due to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
So I just wanted to share verse 21. And thus we make men to get knowledge of them, that they might know that Allah's promise is true, and that the hour, there's no doubt about it. When they disputed among themselves about their affairs and said, erect an edifice over them, the Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed in their affair said, "We shall certainly build a place of worship over them." And what came to me was something like an elevated places, the elevated places. High level or degrees, as the Quran says, degrees with Allah, higher degrees of understanding. And you were absolutely right, Brother Ben. Until we attain, certain levels of understanding, we are definitely in those gross levels of darkness. Yes, sir. You were spot on this morning. And I wanted to bear witness to that because fortunately or unfortunately, we had a question that appeared to antagonize the group, in regards to the Quran, in regards to us knowing that this is a sure truth. And that's, the difference between the Nation of Islam Muslims, who, the brother Yahweh, sought to antagonize this morning or whatever, and other groups who may not be so certain that indeed we have a sure truth. But am I interesting? 36 months in prison, by survey, one after one, Yahwehs that I would come in contact with, never word the verse and chapter that I put into the chat this morning to sort of handle that consideration or question, if you will. It's interesting that those who would seek to come challenge us in our faith never understand the basis or root of their faith. And the fact that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught root knowledge, not branch knowledge. So one of the things that Allah blessed me one Ramadan to study and learn was chapter 16 in Genesis, verses 1 through 4, and to read with my own eyes that indeed Abraham, who was called a Hebrew, was given Hagar, the Egyptian black woman, by God to be his wife, making us at the root both Hebrew and Muslim, which is the secret. And I shared this in the chat so all can read. And it is further verified in the book of Nehemiah. We're styled as the Saviors, plural. And then we're restyled and rewritten again in the New Testament as an individual man called Jesus. And the Holy Quran further clarifies that by saying what? Surely the likeness of Jesus is the likeness of Adam. So bringing it back into the context of a group. But when you are half taught and half read in your own thing and you try to challenge someone else in their thing, as Brother Yahweh unfortunately demonstrated this morning that he was half taught or half learned, you make mistakes like that by prematurely challenging individuals where you should not challenge. And so we argue with people where we don't have knowledge or have knowledge. And so I just wanted to share that, Brother Ben, and validate you and thank you for checking there, brother. But I wanted to add that because we are taught to hurl truth at falsehood until we knock out his brains. There should be no further question or antagonism about from any person from Yahweh's group, Yahweh being Yahweh, and the Nation of Islam, and how can we believe the Holy Quran? If you have never picked up the Bible and read chapter 16, verses 1 through 4 for yourself, Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother John.
Yes, sir. Great point, my brother. Great point. Great point, Brother Ben. I know we winding down, my brother. I just want to bear witness to your words earlier and the words of my brother and the sister who spoke on Moses traveling with the wise man. In my years of following the minister, him being that modern day wise man, many of us have followed the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, whether in the nation or outside, like Moses. As it was said earlier, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was asked about that part in the Quran, he says, that's me and my followers. His followers follow him and doubt and suspicion. So just to give some of us a little timeline, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan agreed to help Jesse Jackson in 1984 to get involved in the electoral politics for our brother, Many doubted the minister's move, and suspicion became behind that. We Muslims, we don't get involved in that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never did that. Then at a certain point, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if you all get the tape, it was in 92 or 93, it's called Has Farrakhan Changed Direction? I was just coming in, but he was being accused of changing direction because he was speaking in churches. One year, the churches called named Minister Farrakhan Churchman of the Year, following doubt and suspicion. He calls for a 1 million man march on a Monday, not a Saturday, but a Monday. Pastors and leaders, oh, Minister Farrakhan, you're not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King had 250,000 on a Saturday. And here you are calling for 1 million men on a Monday. Wrong day. Doubt and suspicion. When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan encouraged us to learn about Dianetics, I ran to it, and by the grace of Allah, I was one of the first 110 to receive my certificate. I didn't question my father. I didn't question him. And when people ask about it today, they actually talk about that as though that's a stain on Minister Farrakhan. Absolutely not. If you're following a wise man, you will see the value and the wisdom in what he's doing. Some even came to the minister, why you always gotta bang on these Jews? You making it hard for us. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan would get us across this river, this lake, this body of water on his shoulders. So when you're on a man's shoulders and he's crossing a river or a lake, you don't feel the current. You don't feel the bottom of the river because you're not walking. You're on his shoulders. So he sometimes have to walk a certain way based on where the current is to get us safely across. And last but not least, brothers and sisters, when our brother was murdered, George Floyd, all around the country, in the world, there were marches. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us to stand down. And community leaders was coming to us, brothers, where y'all at, man? How come the nation ain't out? You know, George Floyd just got murdered. This was right when COVID started. But the minister told us, stand down. And it came out later that the Proud Boys and other racist groups were purposefully going to these marches infected with COVID and coughing and spreading COVID. And from all of those marches in early 2020, Black people started getting COVID and dying. So we are following a divine man, and he's getting us across the river on his shoulders. So please let us not be those following the minister in doubt and suspicion. Even with Ramadan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't tell us to fast with the Muslims. He said December. Follow Minister Farrakhan, and understanding will come to you later. So the Quran says, when the people say believe, say don't say you believe, say you submit. But faith has not yet entered the heart. Submit first, grow in your faith, and understanding will come, and history will show that following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the best decision we ever made in our life. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What's the updated list, Sister Alexia, if you can resend it? Sister Janae, want to try again? Sister Dr. T. Mr. Shift Your Perspective.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I want to share what I got out of what is this?
Walaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you now.
You want me to wait?
Yes, Sister Dr. T was before you.
Okay, all right.
Sister Dr. T, are you ready? We can't hear you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Shift your perspective. She can go after you if she fixes her mic.
Okay, I'll probably be too low. All right, so Surah 17, Ayat 31, moral precept. And kill not your children for the fear of poverty. We provide for them and for you. Surely the killing of them is a great wrong. What that brought in my mind is when Allah say, for the fear of poverty. And what it made me think about is really just how much fear controls the decisions that we make. For most of us, on some level or scale or another, at some degree or another, like fear or the prevention of being hurt, has something to do with the decisions that we make in regards to ourselves and how we handle our loved ones and so on and so forth, right? But further than that, it makes me think about the ayah where Allah say that Satan will threaten you with the fear of poverty, loss of life. And I want to say like loss of children and things like that, right? And it just makes me think about how that fear or that, and it's not that you're going to lose it or you've lost these things. It's just the fear alone. It ain't even happened yet. And it makes me think about how that creates a level or a state of desperate state in the individual. That fear, when bills start piling up or you get behind on something, you're running late on while you're driving or whatever, and how when you become desperate, you begin to do things that put you at risk. When I think about just even time that I even spent like in prison, because this is when the first time this dawned on me, how this whole living in survival mode, right? How this living in a somewhat state of a desperate state of living, how one is just instinctively responding to everything, not really sitting back, having time to just really use your creative mind, use your higher mind to strategize or to analyze or make a real mindful decision, a real thought out, well-developed decision. And I just think that like that one piece to realize that exists in us and how we operate on that, probably either at a large scale or at some degree or another, and to realize that and know how it needs to be checked or know to check it with just realizing it. And I think that realization could, it could benefit us on a large scale on our day-to-day activities and just living, just realizing how that lower self is able to trigger us like that. And that's all I wanted to share. I appreciate the time. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sister Dr. T. Sister Dr. T. All right, Brother Anton. Oh, well, never mind. I look like she's off mute now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh, here.
We can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh.
We can hear you.
Ramadan. Okay, thank you. Ramadan Mubarak.
I just wanted to come on this morning to just give a quick testimony, and you pretty much laid out a lot for me. Just listening to you talk about those who really don't want to come forward with the gifts and talent that God has given you because you feel like, you know, you're not good enough, or you just feel like you don't want to brush anybody the wrong way because, you know, you have these gifts and talent that God has given you. And I felt like you pretty much was just speaking to me because I know sorry about that. I know I have some things that God's been putting on my heart to do, but I've been like shying away from it only because when I was in the industry and working in so many fields, I've always got like a whole bunch of attacks because of who God made me to be, you know, with the knowledge and understanding of things. And that brought a lot of enemies to me. So I pretty much stepped back and just not even, you know, just kept all of what he's given me inside of me and not sharing it with anyone because having a fear of not wanting people to dislike me or, you know, or saying that, you know, I'm pretty much trying to be somebody that I'm really not trying to be. It's just that God has given me these special gifts and I'm trying to use them, but I keep getting attacked by, you know, those who I try to share it with and so forth. So that's pretty much has just left me not wanting to even be a part of basically, you know, the world with just dealing with people anymore. And so that's a big struggle for me. And you pretty much really spoke a lot when you was talking because you was definitely speaking to me directly, I feel. And just so you know, just last week, I was awakened at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And you came into my vision, Brother Ben. And it was said to me when I was awakened, don't you see what Ben is doing? Don't you see what Ben is doing? He's teaching. He's teaching. And you should be teaching. And I just woke up because it kind of scared the living daylights out of me. And I kept thinking about that over and over. Like, why was this message sent to me? And why did I see Brother Ben X face so vividly like that? And I just didn't understand. And then also, just to be really quick, also, this is my first time doing Ramadan, and I had no intentions of doing it. I started studying the Quran with my son, and sorry, I'm just so nervous to speak. And I just didn't really know a lot about what I was getting into because I was coming from a Baptist church, and I started to listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and and when I started listening to him, I just knew right away that, you know, I was moving in the right direction because I had got so attached to him till I would just wake up every day and just listen to his videos and lectures all day long, just trying to understand and get some guidance on who it is and on who I should be and what I should be doing, and not getting entanglement with this world. And so I read the message to the black man, and right away I knew that there was no discrepancy because I was trying to find a way to get out of it. And when I read the message to the black man, there was nothing that I could find that was deviated from who it is and what it is that I should be doing. And I was like, wait a minute, I can't even find anything in this book that I can make argument with, because I was just trying to find a way to not surrender. And so Proverbs 16:3 came to me and said, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he would establish your plans. And so I got that message. And then there was another message that came to me. And I'm just getting all these messages when I'm sleeping, waking me up. And something just came to me and said, life is not promised when you are afraid to live it. And I kept thinking, why am I getting all these messages like this here? And being a part of this power call, it's just bringing a closure to why I'm getting all of these messages from Allah, because it's not coming from anyone else. I feel like all of these messages is coming from Allah, and I'm just gonna end it at that point, because it was a bunch of other stuff that I wanted to share, but it'll come another time. But I just want to thank you for this power call platform that you have. And absolutely, during Ramadan has changed me completely. I mean, I was fasting prior to that because I was following the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and listening to Minister Louis Farrakhan as well. So I had already begun fasting, but Ramadan has really purified me, just unbelievably. And I just want to say thank you so much, and keep inspiring, because you are inspiring with this platform, and there's no other place for me to go but to stay here. This is a true family.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing your testimony. We're going to move on to our next speaker, Brother Anton.
Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to share this with us. We know that it's a certain verse in the Quran where it's basically a prophecy, but it tells us, behold, when the victory comes, and thou doest see the people enter Allah's religion in crowds, celebrate his praises. And that right there make me think that we really, really, really gotta be on our mercy and understanding. You know, we really have to have that deeply embedded in us and express that among us, because those of us that's already in the house and already building and on the mission, if we don't have that with each other and being able to settle on the best part versus let the little negatives that you might recognize outweigh settling on the best part, then how are we going to have the patience and compassion to deal with those coming in who are totally in the mud still? You know, we already in the process, but as it says that they're going to enter our lives, religion, and crowds. And even the messenger has said that it's going to come a point where we're going to have to teach 15 minutes, one group, then send that group out, let the next group come in, teach 15 minutes. So in order to receive a mass group trying to flock in like that, we're going to have our patience and understanding and compassion up, because depending on how we handle and deal with them, whether we impatient and get frustrated, can't tolerate, somebody coming in smelling like they just took a sip, or other little things, other little negatives we might recognize. If we can't handle dealing with our people correctly in a compassionate way, the same way that our teachers show us, the Messiah in our midst, he clean. I mean, he got little certain things he may have did, but overall, that's a clean man. He have submitted and obeyed and did the work, and he embraced the people with love, no matter what level they come from, whether they come from being a homosexual trying to get cleaned up, a drug addict, a prostitute, gang banger, all this different stuff. So we just got to make sure that we following him to the T and have compassion and patience with our people that's finna flock to us, because it's coming by the grace of Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Let's end off with the great Sister Yatira.
Oh, snap. Okay. Let me praise be to Allah. You all are so great. Brother Ben, you have said so many things today. Let me get to my notes because I wrote it down so I could be as concise as possible. But I'm going to start with what Brother Anton just was saying, because that was so beautiful while it's fresh on my mind as it relates to those of us who are in the house. And Brother Ben, you actually posted it yesterday. It said something about people shouldn't know that you're Muslim, shouldn't only know that you're Muslim during Ramadan, something like that. And this energy has been posted in different ways. I saw somebody else say something like, I can't think of what it said, but the point that's coming to my mind about it is, even in our imperfection, walking Islam on a daily basis, we attract the people who would resonate with whatever our shortcomings are. Being a Muslim doesn't mean that we're just perfect because we have a perfect religion, but by us walking our post in striving, we're supposed to be striving daily. So we shouldn't just have a vice that we're not even dealing with. Oh yeah, I smoke and I do it just because, hey, that's what I do. No, we should be striving to get out of that. Or so when you are faced, this is the time of the manifestation of defects. When you're faced with your defect, then we should be striving to overcome them. And it doesn't matter if, Allah covers us. There are imperfections that I have that you don't see in me, but they are there. And there are others that you may see in me, and so there's trials in and of that. But if we could focus on the bigger picture, it doesn't matter what my shortcomings are, so long as I'm striving, because Allah is going to use me in accordance to his will. And that was the point there. So that was a beautiful point, Brother Anton. So the power call, I put chapter 18, verse 23, which says right here, this is section 4, the Quran as a guidance. And say not of anything, I will do that tomorrow, unless Allah please. That has always stuck out to me, because how many times do we say, oh yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow, where we might say later on in life, or dealing with other things, man, why we ain't making progress, or why we ain't doing it, you whatever you can complain about. When you can, as quickly as any of us, self included, can lift our voice to raise or point out a complaint, how quick are we to take an action to deal with that thing that we see? When I came into the nation, something that really stuck and was part of my foundation is If you see a thing, if you see a problem, then that's the trial for you. If Allah put that for you to see it, well, that means that might be part of your assignment, because somebody else might not even see the thing. So instead of trying to go around making everybody else, oh, well, you don't see that thing is dusty over there? You don't see that? No, you see it. So go dust it. You know what I'm saying? Like, pick up your cross. You see that. All right. So that was that part. Then the next thing I wrote was that part was about, like, things getting done. And also that the Holy Quran, in really being under these teachings, everything is like an open book test. Let me see. I put, look, there you are. What you're saying is written. Oh, I was saying that in reading these books, reading the Holy Quran, sometimes I find myself wanting to, like, talk to my family and be like that's you right here. Remember you told me, why are you doing that? Your grandmother, she was a this, we was Baptist, or, your father was a rabbi, and this is what there you are. That's you right there. and what was the condition of my father? He wouldn't, what was his health like? He died from a heart problem. He was sick, and just looking at the things of how we say things, but we don't take into account what we can do differently, or see how, look at those who came before us. Look at those who came before us historically, the ancients, as the Holy Quran puts it, and strive for better and say, well, maybe they did it this way, and look at how they ended up. Maybe I should consider something different. That was that point. Hard trials necessary to establish truth, and just how important this aspect is. For me, I just use myself as an example. When I joined the nation, that was trial number one. I knew it was the place for me to go. The first two trials was dealing with relationships. The person that I was with, and he didn't want to come, and we was talking about marriage, and then it was like, hey, I gotta choose. Like, am I gonna leave what I called for and asked for and knew was for me? Am I gonna just say, all right, well, we're gonna say us? You know what I'm saying? I had to make that hard decision. And then it came to my mother, basically almost disowning me, but I had to pick that. Oh my goodness, my baby's waking up. And then let me see. Then going from being in a marriage number one, and that failing, but I came from that to learn more about myself and say, oh, okay, I had to go through that so I could gain this message. My point so far is that this is the establishment of hard trials necessary to establish truth. My foundation being built, being established, so that if I can weather these beginning trials at a beginning stage of my own personal development, then what I could continuously grow into. So now I'm single. Now I have a child. Now I'm homeless. Well, how is my foundation growing from that point? And then it continues there. So I won't go down that whole list. But then obedience is better than sacrifice. Submitting to what Allah is calling us to do. This has been the talk that people have been talking about today. And that is just so powerful and resonating so deeply with me. I put here that Brother Ben twice now since Ramadan has been encouraging us and pushing us and calling us to do that which Allah has put in us to do. He keeps asking that question, well, do it. We make all kinds of excuses why we can't do it. He used the example about somebody coming to the study group and making up excuses why we can't do that. But what about when back to that bliss factor, about ourselves? Well, I can't, my voice ain't, whatever. And, my microphone, my light, all these different things, my children. No, sometimes bring your children. Sometimes they need to be part of the podcast. Maybe there's not enough podcasts where the family is incorporated so that people can say, oh, they doing it with their 5 children. I can do it with my 2. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that was that. I'm trying to wrap up, y'all. And say the truth. Okay, this was chapter 18, ayat 29. And say the truth is from your Lord. So let him who please believe. And then it said, and let who disbelieve, let him disbelieve if he please, or she. And I'm just like, this sets the tone of the attitude. I'm trying to tell y'all, people tell me like, oh, you always seem so happy. I am. Even when dealing with controversy, whether it's in my home or whether it's dealing with people, like the brother who was commenting or whatever, that's fine. It's like, number one, I am where I am. I'm a believer. growing into knowing. You know what I'm saying? And when you're faced with this kind of stuff, because the Holy Quran told you to say, the truth is from your Lord. I mean, you want to do with it what you want to be a disbeliever? Okay, be that. Instead of getting so riled up about somebody and their disbelief or their arguments or anything like that. Because for me personally, my testimony with that is, it's about, if I'm going to help somebody, if I'm going to share my experiment, I'll be right up there, Fahima. If I'm going to share my story to help somebody, it's one thing if somebody asks a question, even if it's a controversial question. It's one thing when somebody genuinely wants to know a thing, as opposed to somebody who is just, oh, I'm just jiggling at you, you know, and kind of knowing that difference. All right, so we move to the last few things. Okay, obedience over emotion. It was something that Brother Daniel 6X said about that emotion thing, and that was just so powerful. I guess I didn't write it down. But see, the beauty of sharing, okay, and this is the last thing, I'll close with this. The beauty of sharing our perspectives from sharing our view from a perspective of testimony. And I think that would help us, each of us, to really move into the direction of what Allah has put on us, in us, to bring out. I think that was Sister Dr. T maybe, who was speaking about, you know, being afraid of people not liking her if I say this or say that. And that's the thing. It's really not about worrying about those who are not going to get, that's back to that verse that we just read, 18:29, and say the truth is from the Lord. My experience, this is what I have to share. This is what I have gone through. This is what I have used. So, okay, Farad is up, so he's not gonna let me finish, but this has been beautiful. I'll maybe share this later.
Praise be to Allah. Well, I thank you all for tuning in this morning. Blacktastic feedback this morning. We halfway there. So congratulations. We are one half into the Holy Quran. So we will be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Central Time. For those who want to get inside the app and you want to participate in some of the things that we're going to have going inside of our app, www.thepowercall.net. For those who want to get the app. For those who would like to support the Power Call efforts and keep this thing going, you can go to the Telegram, and inside the Telegram, go to the chat that says support Power Call, or you can just simply go to www.paypal.me/BrotherBenX. So www.paypal.me/BrotherBenX, and you can support your Power Call there as well. So again, thank you all for coming on this morning, and I'll see you guys, inshallah, in the morning, 5 a.m. Central Time. Have a blacktastic day.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.